All right, everybody, welcome back. Smash Course is here with episode 4, and we have a nice and cozy setup here with Joe, Max in one frame, sharing the couch and their headphones. Look at this. We're just going to get cozy this episode. I think it's going to be good. We even got that mobile view from Hungry Box, and this is going to be me from my boat as well. So let's just kick back and chat Smash for the next half hour. All right, everyone. So Tristate Atlantic South wrap up. Let's get right into it. I was there at Tristate. It was a hype event. It was pretty much, we were packed to the walls at one point. So I liked seeing that. It was a really good turnout. But I think the biggest story was, Stony Brook taking both Smash 4 and Melee. We have a new powerhouse in that region. I think before you had been projecting, Rutgers, they might have had a few switch ups, but we were still expecting pretty strong turnout. What do you think happened there? Tell us a little bit since you were the TO of the event, Max.
Yeah, we definitely had quite a few highlights and lowlights of the Tri-State event. We'll get into that as we go. But absolutely, Stony Brook was the school to talk about from this weekend. DeBuzz 15 stocked a team, 13 stocked another team. And believe it or not, they actually won the tournament from losers, even with the 4th-ranked Smash 4 player in the world on their team. They lost to Drexel University and I believe winter semifinals. And it was down to the last stock. DeBuzz was fighting a Yoshi player named Spirunk, who's power ranked in Pennsylvania, but definitely was not considered to be, the biggest threat in Smash 4 Collegiate by any means. And he fortunately had a teammate knock DeBuzz down to 2 stocks in one match, and then he was able to close it out with a 3-stock to 2-stock matchup. So DeBuzz and his team went through losers bracket, dominated there, and they won the tournament. And the same thing happened in Melee, except they didn't even get knocked into losers. Stony Brook is looking extremely strong. They always have had a very strong Melee scene. And now with DeBuzz and a Mennonite player named Aceto from Staten Island, they are looking really good in Smash 4 too. DeBuzz said in his interview, though, the rest of my team needs to trade up. I need to work with them if we want to win this whole league. If they were able to lose to Drexel, granted they placed second, so they're still very strong, then surely there's another team out there that can beat them. So then the negatives of the event, aside from a great Smash 4 turnout and great bracket run, we had a setup snafu with Melee. We were low on setups for the event. It was kind of miscommunication between us and the players. We have it as part of our rule set. By the way, if you're about to sign up, this is in the rules to prevent this from happening, but you have to bring a full setup, one per team. So it's, a good way to guarantee that we have setups at every event, regardless of what kind of venue it is. But it was not effectively communicated with the players, so we're very sorry for that. And we're going to be absolutely 100% sure that it doesn't happen at any other events in the future, because that's a huge step back. So we were low on setups. It ended up resolving itself at the end. Crews ran at a pretty decent time. But still, the Melee players left unsatisfied. So here's actually the first announcement of this. We're doing another qualifier at Nebulous Gaming, which is the New York City home of Melee, November 18th. It's going to be hosted by the tournament organizers and the venue and it's going to be an overall much greater experience for the Melee community. Effectively, all the teams who have already qualified in Melee don't need to compete. You don't need to place top 4. Show up, though, and play singles if you want. There's still going to be a collegiate-only singles bracket. But, yeah, we're going to make that up to the Melee community. We really are a company and team that's invested in the Smash community. Joe and I have been doing this for 10 years, so this is our home. So, we just want to make sure, that the community has a positive view of CSL, and we're, totally willing to work on any errors that we make and stuff. So, thanks for hearing out that spiel. But then on the other side of things, we had Atlantic South, which was North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. And it was dominated in Smash 4 by South Carolina. They pulling up their results now. USC took home first in Smash 4, and then Clemson took home second, with Georgia Tech and Georgia Southern University rounding out the 3rd and 4th spot. And then Clemson also won. Clemson won Melee, so still a very strong showing overall. Georgia Tech also qualifying in 2nd place, and then Kennesaw State University and Wake Forest University rounded out the top 4 there. So actually one of our TOs, Floozy, he placed 3rd in the Smash 4 singles bracket. I was pretty hyped to see. This man really juggled it all.
Foster, my man.
Yeah, Foster.
The man, the myth, the legend, dude.
Yeah, for sure. He did a great job of TOing, and he also worked with Austin from TMG, one of the former, still most trusted, but former like head management of TMG with Matt.Zeb. So he was also a pleasure to work with. Great guy. They both just did an awesome job TOing. So no organizational flaws on that end. That was all me, unfortunately. But either way, very strong showings from both Georgia and South Carolina schools overall, with a little bit of NC peppered in there too. So Atlantic South has always been strong for Melee, and I think we're going to see the same in Smash 4. They also had a team get third in Smash 4 Collegiate this past year. So, and actually, Kennesaw State made it to Nationals in 2016 as well. So Atlantic South, always a big threat in Collegiate Smash.
Feeling good about it too, Joe? Everything's running well on your end?
Yeah, we have the Ontario event coming up November 25th. And the thing that I'm most excited about that one is I think singles bracket is going to be really successful. A lot of people in the community expressed that the collegiate-only singles bracket is something they're really looking forward to. So I'm excited to figure out how a format with a really big singles bracket, as well as a lot of collegiate teams, is going to work out. Because definitely moving forward for the future in terms of planning out like an ideal scenario for these events, like hitting the cap for singles and hitting the teams cap for crews would be absolutely perfect.
Right. We don't even have a cap yet, like we're
like it would be sick of it was so successful that it makes us need to cap it at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Well,
what's the prize for these events, for these circuits?
So for the cruise events in local qualifiers, this round of 16 first, there's no prize other than qualification for regionals. The top 4 teams move on. And if you place top 2 at regionals, each of the members of your team, or rather 5 members of your team, get a $100 stipend to make it to divisionals. And if you win divisionals, you get a $500 stipend per player to go to Shine, which is where nationals are. And then for singles, it's just an open bracket with $5 cash.
Okay, got it.
Also at Shine, of course, we have $15K in the pot for each game. So it's, I believe the breakdown we did was $9K, $3K, $2K, $1K. So all top 4 teams get paid out.
I think it's fun for everyone since you do have the singles available at each event, so people should definitely bring those up if they're feeling like they don't have team support or they just want to do more when they're at these events. But let's run into Dreamhack, and that was a big thing this past weekend. Obviously, Hungry Box, I'll let you lead on with this. How was your experience there? Did you have a good time? I saw a lot of people that actually went there and loved it.
Yeah, I heard that it was definitely Colorado's biggest Smash event of all time for both Melee and Smash 4. There was top players for both sides showing up in the dozens. It was actually a really cool event. I think the fact that Dreamhack is now doing like multiple smaller, not like each one's like a one big 30K end-all tournament. Like it's like a smaller like 10K per event in different cities around the country. It's a really cool approach because you get a lot more diversity of talent. And a lot of the players who had never gone to a national, this is their first time going, and they loved it. They loved going for the players, getting autographs. They loved being able to compete with top players, to like play friendlies. I was walking over to the Halo section and watching Liquid and Optic compete. It was just a really cool experience, and Dreamhack is a great way to celebrate esports in general, especially in the continental United States, and if you're in Sweden and in Europe as well. But yeah, I entered Melee as usual, somehow clutched another win, and yeah, it was just Jabali's doing a great job at running it, and I really hope that a lot of players who have never gone to a national, if it's in your city, I think it's a very good like first national to go to because it's run well. There's no complications with it. It's organized well. You get your time slot. You get where you have to play, where you have to be at each time. Smash GG and the TOs work with it pretty seamlessly, and I love the event. I enjoy it, and I love the fact that Dreamhack was sort of I remember Armada was the first one to really press on it and to sort of tell the company to have Smash be one of its events. And now it's one of the most consistently entered events. And every time Dreamhack is hosted, and I think regardless of the city, it gets at minimum 200 plus entrants for each one, maybe 300 or 400. So it's a great staple, and I hope they keep hosting events. Denver, it just comes to show you can go to any city and host a big event as long as you have the proper advertisement and the proper name behind it. So I'm definitely going to go to their events as long as they have them.
For sure, and I feel like they had a collegiate event on the other side of the esports bracket, and hopefully the Smash and collegiate worlds will collide one day at one of these Dreamhack events. I'm hoping.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Dreamhack Collegiate would be great because Collegiate Smash is sort of a very grassroots thing. It's only a matter of time before even one moderately large esports or competitive gaming organization picks it up, makes it an official side event, And of course, like you said, right now the top team gets to go to Shine with the stipend, but why not? Why can't it be a sort of like each Dreamhack because it's in different cities? It's like the Dreamhack West qualifiers, the Dreamhack South qualifiers. It could be an entire collegiate league on its own, and it wouldn't even be that complicated. So I definitely see potential in that.
Absolutely, and we did our CSL finals at Dreamhack a couple of years ago too, and we loved it. And big supporters of what they're doing here in North America. So before we go into more collegiate stuff, let's talk about that Switch update, guys. Are we feeling some rumblings here? Some excitement coming up?
All right, yes. I'll be that guy. I'll be that guy first, and I'm just gonna say I'm gonna bite the bullet. It is the confirmation of our dreams coming true. Because the one thing holding it back, the one thing I always thought that wouldn't make it work, I'm just like, well, yeah, it could be a thing, but how will we play Switch without a game can control? My goodness! And then I saw that.
Yep.
And then it's a USB-C type. No, actually, I'm sorry. It's a regular USB type because it plugs into not the Switch console, but the Switch dock, which has a backwards just standard USB. And I'm like, holy crap! So I'm actually going to go home pretty soon and test it out after some meetings. But apparently, it's the real deal, guys. You can not only play hopefully what appears to be a future Smash, hopefully coming to the Switch, but you can play Mario Kart, Legend of Zelda, any game that uses the standard controls. Now you have arguably Nintendo's best controller. No, not arguably. Definitely the best controller Nintendo or any game company has ever released is now usable to play all these new games. So I'm pretty excited about it, and honestly, I think that is a big hint on very good things to come for the future of not only Smash 4 but Melee as well.
Yeah, dude, I hope. I mean, everyone has always tossed around, Melee HD, and of course there's been some serious rumors about Smash Switch coming out, whether it's a port or actually just a fifth entry into the series. I mean, regardless, it's huge, especially on, a console that Nintendo wants to actively push. That also means there's hope for Smash to land in the spotlight again.
Definitely hoping for that. We're pushing for more to get from Nintendo every time, I think. But we can only wait and see. But this is a good start. So I guess I'll let you guys kind of launch right into DMV, British Columbia, Upstate New York, and I want to get more of your ideas about these supplemental events because I feel like that's something the community should hear your logic behind a bit more.
Yeah, like auxiliary qualifiers, I think, were a great addition that we just recently started implementing into TMG and Smash 4 Collegiate, just because it gives regions that are less represented across the board in the circuit a chance to qualify for the next stage of regionals and then eventually go to divisionals and hopefully make it all the way to Shine for national finals. Upstate is a perfect example. And then you being able to add the Nebulous event to complement the next level event that you just hosted, like it fits really well and gives people additional chances to get involved in the circuit if they can't make it out. So I'm all for it. Yeah.
Right. The way that it works into the season, by the way, for anyone who's confused about that, is that since regionals are the top 4 teams from the 2 localities closest to each other, essentially we added 4 bracket spots and 4 buys for the number 1 placing teams into those brackets. So now with the Nebulous qualifier, we just have a round 16 bracket for Melee regionals coming up in the winter. And yeah, the auxiliary events that we've added so far have been Upstate New York and Colorado. So effectively, like, when it was TMG under Matt.Zeb, everyone was very into the brand. Matt had a ridiculous network and he was able to run all these events across the board. CSL, we're doing things differently. We're like funding the circuit and, we need to allocate our resources in a way that makes sense for us. So we had to reduce the number of events from like a ridiculous, broad spread, amazing, like all capturing system to just something that was a more condensed and just rounded off circuit, because that's, we want to be able to like throw 30K in the pot for Smash, right? So, we heard the concerns of players in these far off regions that were like, oh, we have to drive 10 hours to our qualifier or something ridiculous. So we're like, all right, we hear you. And again, Joe and I are longtime Smashers. We're just like all about helping out the community in their time of need, So we saw Upstate New York, particularly popular area during TMG. A lot of schools up there have participated, like Binghamton, Rochester, Syracuse, etc. And plus, it's like a hotbed for schools in the U.S. And then Colorado is so far from the Four Corners qualifier in Arizona. And we're like, you know what? We could just outsourced to these TOs that we've met like over the years. You know, we have these connections. So like, I'm sure they'd be thrilled to like have a TMG and Smash 4 Collegiate event. And sure enough, like they were super hyped. They wanted to provide for their regions. And just, you know, they thought the idea overall is cool of the collegiate circuit. So shout outs to those TOs. Super helpful. It would be the Mana Lord and Jay-Shun, or I forget his tag, but his name is Jay-Shun from Colorado. Definitely, again, super thanks to those guys. And that's something we really needed from CSL. So, now those regions can compete. Upstate New York's qualifier is this Sunday. It's looking to be a pretty good turnout. Then we have British Columbia also on Sunday. Again, BC kids, better sign up, man. Like we know, you're out there. Like
UBC, there's so many powerhouse schools for esports on the West Coast, so for sure.
And then on Saturday, it's in Richmond, Virginia. There's Richmond, British Columbia on Sunday, but Richmond, Virginia on Saturday, and it's looking to be a very strong sign up roster as well. So yeah, guys, definitely check out those tourneys. They'll be live on twitch.tv/CStar League Saturday and Sunday, pretty much all day, and support the events, man. There's definitely like a lot of teams out there that have some sick players on them waiting to be discovered.
For sure.
So question, as an aside from, I'm happy that this is getting organized and it seems like a really cool idea for all the collegiate students. But in a quick flip, do you guys think that a U18 league run in a similar way would be viable? Do you think
yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah.
I'm honestly this close to talking to Team Liquid about just literally having me and them work on just a U18 league, even from Florida, just seeing like, hey, all the kids in high school and below right now, you play Melee right now. If you're the best U18er and best teenager at Smash in the state, we'll give you a few $1,000s to attend EVO this year or something like that. That's what I want to do. And even though I have to kind of leave right now from this meeting because I got to do another thing, I will say that I truly hope that the awesome efforts that you guys are putting towards Collegiate Smash, that kind of organization, if we can get the similar kind of wavelengths and like brain power on a U18 league, it could be something very, very beautiful and massive. And I think it's very possible, especially right now, seeing the direction Smash is going in. So,
yeah, it's wild that you just mentioned that, because we were in a call earlier, and that was one of the things that we were talking about, like directions to move forward in for the future. Like, yeah, 100%. On board. And even Smash Sisters was something we were talking about too, like making that part of the program in a lot more cohesive way would be completely awesome.
Yo, HBox, I'm gonna let you go, man. Thanks for joining us.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Cheers, man. I'll see you guys.
So I think that's pretty much it for us. I think in general, what Hungry Box said is true. We're going to have a lot to diversify into, and you guys already seem like you're on the ball with that. So we will conference on possible growth opportunities next week. But if you're not in it, you can't win it, guys. So these 3 qualifiers coming up this weekend. If you're in DMV, British Columbia, Upstate New York, you better be there. And I will expect to hear great things on next week's episode. So anything else we need to talk about this week? Or are we good?
I just want to throw in last minute, like HBox and I actually talked about it at PAX when we did the CSL thing at the Twitch booth. Smash 4 Scholastic, man.
Yeah.
That was what I was thinking, when we had Smash 4 Collegiate, just like a high school league could be the spark, or even, younger than that. Like, there's no reason to not try it out.
Be absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
That was a good panel. We have to get back to PAX and explore these topics again some more.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for this week as usual, and for all you're doing for us in the Smash scene. So let's reconvene next week. Let's talk about these qualifiers. Let's talk about whatever else is coming up. Anything else we need to keep on our radars? Anything else besides checking out the Switch update?
I don't know, man. That's all I'm thinking about. So I'm good for now.
All right. Awesome. All right. Enjoy your week, everyone. See you next week.
Cheers. Take care.